know it's good for the country, we know it's good for you and your family. We've enjoyed having you here. And you know the story I give this for community engagement. And you guys have been so engaged and been a part of the community. And it's all about, I mean it's about community engagement, bringing the communities together. It's so important. Let me read this. Brigadier General Rory Crooks, Director of Long Range Precision Fire Cross-Functional Team, Army Futures Command, in recognition of your tireless efforts in support of fires modernization and your faithful partnership with Fort Sill, which rises to the highest level of some kind of wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, sir, I'll turn over to Lieutenant General Browns before we get going on the rest of the awards. Hey, everybody. I'm not from Fort Sill. You probably recognize that. It's kind of a funny story. I came to Fort Sill for the basic course, and then I didn't come back until pre-command course. I think I was persona non grata. I wasn't allowed back to Oklahoma. But I'm from Army Futures Command headquarters down in Austin. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is Army Futures Command may only be 7 years old this August, but we're actually one of the oldest organizations in the Army when you look at our subordinate organizations and what we've got here that used to be part of the Fire Center of Excellence that was kind of carved out to make the cross-functional teams. You know, those spaces came from right here, and so they actually are part of the fabric of Lawton and Fort Sill. But on behalf of General Rainey and Command Sergeant Major Hester, I wanted to come do this award. I recommended Rory for this award, and you know, I didn't write it, but I did sign it. I made a couple of edits here and there, but I'll talk a little bit more about Rory as part of the ceremony. But before we do that, I think we've got something for Lisa. Lisa is an extraordinary a leader in her own right, soldier for life, Army spouse, just a wonderful person, and I know that y'all will miss her. We got to serve with Rory and Lisa at Fort Eustis in Futures and Concept Center, and we were really sad to see them leave. So I think we've got something for you. Let's go ahead and present that.
Attention to orders. The Meritorious Public Service Medal is being presented to Miss Elizabeth Krooks for extraordinary service to the Long Range Precision Fires cross-functional team, June of 2022 to April of 2025. Her actions are in keeping with the founding tradition of the military service and reflect great credit upon her, the Fire Center of Excellence, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and the United States Army. Given this 11th day of April 2025, signed Winston P. Brooks, Major General, United States Army Commander.
Go ahead and read that one too.
The esteemed artillery order model picture is presented to Miss Elizabeth Crooks, having been faithful to the artillery, offering courage, patience, and guidance in the best tradition of the military service. She has been found worthy to be numbered among the few and deserving members of this revered order and has been duly initiated into the fold. Given this 11th day of April 2025, signed Eric L. Francis, Brigadier General, United States Army Commander.
One more.
The Governor's commendation is hereby presented to Miss Elizabeth Crooks for the sacrifice as a distinguished military spouse as you stand alongside your service member and keep our military strong. Thank you for your dedication to this country as you empower your spouse and family members, ensuring that they have the necessary resources to serve the nation with honor. Given this 11th day of April 2025, signed Kevin J. Stick, Governor of Oklahoma.
All right.
The Order of the Red Legacy is being presented to Miss Elizabeth Crooks with grateful appreciation for the impact you have made on the Lawton Fort Sill community, the Fire Centers of Excellence, and the United States Army. Your kindness will be remembered and your legacy will endure as long as the Medicine Bluff stands. Given this 11th day of April 2025, signed Winston P. Brooks, Major General, United States Army Commander.
Well, today is very bittersweet. It's hard to believe that 3 years have gone by. I just want to thank everybody who's here today to celebrate this occasion with us. As I look around, it just warms my heart to see so many friends and neighbors and members of the community. I want to give a special thanks to our 137 Field Artillery Regiment family who's all here today, and also family friends who are here from as far away as Florida and Washington, D.C. Like I said, today is really very bittersweet. I'm almost kind of speechless, but I just want to, again, thank everybody. Sir, thank you so much for coming up from Army Futures Command. I just want to thank all of our peers, colleagues, friends, neighbors. I want to thank the FCO Command Group. I also want to thank you and General Rainey, too, for stabilizing us here for a third year. Our son, Daniel, graduates next month. But General Brooks and Lori, thank you so much for the command tone that you've set here, wrapping your arms around everybody. We're a tenant organization here, and you've made us feel like part of the family, and so really thank you for your mentorship, your leadership, and your guidance. And again, thank everybody, and I know that Francis's, Rick and Alicia couldn't be here today, but we wish them the best of luck. Rick will be taking over here in a couple of months. And just finally, our LRPF CFT family, past and present, you all are awesome. It's been a great ride. I'm really proud of my husband for everything that he and that team have done, and I'm just very grateful for the support of our family. We moved here during our oldest son's senior year, which is pretty hard, and now our youngest is going to be graduating. Our oldest is over in Korea. He joined the Air Force. But again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a great ride, and as Mayor would say, it's been some kind of wonderful.
All right.
Just last thing I would say before we hang a Distinguished Service Medal on Rory. Rory has earned this every bit. I have watched, and I'll talk about it a little bit when we do the retreat ceremony, but I've watched Rory grow, and his ability to walk in and learn. We don't always see that with a lot of senior folks, just to be honest. Phil and I were talking about this today. You know, a lot of times you'll talk to a general officer in any service and they'll say, I don't have time to read all that, just get it on one page and get it to me, just the facts. And you don't have to do that with Rory. Rory does more research than you provide for him. He does all his own homework. And at this level, it's priceless because we know that when he's in the room, we have the expert. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead and publish the order, please.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States of America has awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to Brigadier General Rory A. Crooks for exceptionally military service to the government in a duty of great responsibility from 16 June 2022 to 9 May 2025 as the Director of Long Range Precision Fire Cross-Functional Team, United States Army Future Command. Brigadier General Crooks devoted himself to soldiers, Department of the Army civilians, contractors, and their family with supreme professionalism and unwavering commitments. His leadership and selfless service forged a distinctive legacy of unparalleled long-range modernization for the United States Army. Brigadier General Crooks' outstanding achievements are in keeping with the highest tradition of the military service and reflect great credit upon him, the United States Army Future Command, and the United States Army. Given the third day of March 2025, signed Honorable Daniel P. Disgrove, Secretary of the Army.
So thank you all for coming out. I know it's a perfect day for it, but thank you for taking the time and sharing this moment with us. First of all, one of the things that I wanted to share with Mayor Booker is that this is something you'll hear when I get up on the podium. This is our 5th time out here at Fort Sill, and really, no matter what the weather is, because today's perfect. No matter what the weather is, what you embody what this community is like. You always bring a little bit of calm and a little bit of warmth, even when it's stormy and cold. You guys and this community does that. We can say that having been here 5 times. So thank you for welcoming us back this last time, and it's been wonderful. I'm not going to miss an opportunity because I don't say thank you enough. One to the team that works for me every day, and particularly when I'm gone, I don't get a chance to thank them. But I want to take a chance for somebody that does most of the work while I'm gone as well, and that's for Lisa, for what you do for this family, for keeping us together, keeping us straight, and doing everything you do, particularly for Dan in his last year here, and what you did for Ryan to get him through high school. I just want to thank you, love you, and let's get started with the ceremony. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The ceremony will begin in approximately 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we just got the front couple are reserved, but I don't think the back are.
Look who it is. Look who it is. I'm just trying to be like you.
Yeah, me too. I'm still good to go. Right?
Nothing on my game, but I'm doing it. Yourself?
How long are you going to be here?
Hey, Kelly. See, Mrs.
I have always said all the time, but I get it now. I get.
You're in and out. Yeah. I was like,
Hi, how are you? On the side? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I told her up there in the record. Looks like follow on.
So, are you
Hey, sir, did everything get good? Colonel Lehman, did everything get good?
always glad to stand.
Wow.
Hey, what's up?
And last week will be my
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin momentarily. We ask that all photographers remain behind the first row chairs. That all electronic devices are turned off except the silent noise.
Hey, Tracy, you're up over here.
Randy did give me one.
So 137 is the house. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, yeah. Our strike photo. Absolutely, you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony is about to begin. Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lieutenant General Miles Brown, the Deputy Commanding General of the United States Army Futures Command, welcome to this afternoon's retreat ceremony in honor of Brigadier General Rory Crooks. At this time, we'd like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Joining us this afternoon are Major General Phil Brooks, Commanding General, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, and his wife Lori. Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Kenneth Preston, Command Chief Warrant Officer, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill. The Honorable Stan Booker, Mayor, City of Lawton. The Honorable Mary Ann Hankins, Councilwoman, Lawton City Council. Dr. Alvin Peterson, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill. Colonel Promotable Glenn Hankins, Commandant, United States Army Air Defense Artillery School, and Deputy Commanding Officer, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, and his wife Catherine. Command Sergeant Major Giancarlo Macri, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Air Defense Artillery School. Mrs. Carrie Bearfield, and our frontier friends, Colonel Retired Nate Slate, Mr. Barry Uzersky, and Lieutenant Colonel Retired Mark Wumaboya. For this sequence of events, please refer to your program. From ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victories, honor comrades in arms, and celebrate special occasions as we are doing today. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life and preserve traditions and sustain esprit de corps. Today, we are bidding farewell to Brigadier General Rory Crooks as he relinquishes his duties as the director of the Long Range Precision Fire Cross-Functional Team. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation presented by the Fire Center of Excellence Command Chaplain, Colonel James Fisher.
Please join with me as we pray. Lord, we pause to recognize the beauty of this day and indeed all of your wonderful gifts. We thank you for our leaders. As we celebrate General Krooks, we embrace Lisa, Ryan, and Daniel in deep appreciation for their commitment to Lawton Fort Sill and for their many Army years of sacrificial service. May their days of transition go smoothly as they prepare to lead the next formation. We offer these thoughts today for our growth and for your glory, and together we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. At this time, Mrs. Laura Armstrong, the Chief of the Fort Sill Artillery Half Section, is presenting flowers to Mrs. Lisa Crooks and a token to his son Dan in appreciation of their selfless service and support to the Fire Center of Excellence and the Lawton Fort Sill community. In keeping with the Fort Sill tradition, Lisa is reciprocating with a gift for the fine horses and soldiers of the Artillery Half Section. In 1969, the Lawton Fort Sill chapter of the Association of the United States Army, together with businesses and civic leaders of the local community, purchased the first 8 matched bay horses for the formation of a permanent artillery half section. Through the continued support of the Lawton Fort Sill community, the great tradition of horse-drawn artillery will be kept alive for years to come. Participating in today's ceremony are the installation color guard provided by the 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. The color sergeant is Drill Sergeant Christian Souza. The installation flag detail provided by the 428 Field Artillery Brigade. The NCOIC is Sergeant First Class Jourdain Travers. The Fort Sill Artillery Half Section, the chief of the section is Mrs. Laura Armstrong. The Fort Sill Salute Battery, Bravo Battery, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery, under the direction of Captain Jada McCollum. The Honor Guard Commander for today's ceremony is Captain Nicole Gibson, Commander, Headquarters Detachment, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill.
Detachment! Attention!
The official party for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General Brown and Brigadier General Krooks. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of honors to Lieutenant General Brown. Please be seated.
Order! Order! Parade! Rest!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Commanding General for the United States Army Futures Command, Lieutenant General Miles Brown.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay? All right. Well, it's a great day to be at Fort Sill, and I'm thrilled to be here as part of this ceremony today. Distinguished guests already recognized, friends and family, we're very honored that you're here with us today. This afternoon, we want to recognize a leader who's been instrumental in shaping the future of our Army. His vision and dedication have propelled us forward, and we're deeply grateful for his service. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Lisa and the whole Crooks family, whose sacrifices and unwavering support enabled Rory to dedicate himself fully to the Army's mission. We all know how military life, especially at this level, demands significant sacrifices. Your unwavering support has obviously been a cornerstone for Rory's success. In the Army, we talk about transformation in contact. We talk about that in the context of our formations. But I can't think of a better example of transformation in contact as a leader than Rory Crooks. Over the last 6 years, I have personally watched as Rory has gone through dramatic transformation. First as a DeVarty commander in the Big Red One, then as a stint as a Fifth Corps in NATO Special Operations Command Afghanistan, working for one of the toughest leaders that we know, General Donahue, C.D. Donahue. Then coming to work for Eric Wesley as the Director of Concepts, where it may only be him and I that believe this, but we believe, and we tell everybody that Rory wrote the first draft of the Joint Warfighting Concept. I haven't had anybody deny that that's true, Rory, except somebody that may know better, but I believe it, and I sell that insurance as much as I can. But he did write the first draft until Admiral Munch took the pen away from him. And he also, in a room around a whiteboard with me and General Rainey, we sketched out the initial imperatives for FM30 and the operations manual. Then he went to Fifth Corps, building Fifth Corps from scratch, and now he's completing his time as the director of LRPF CFT, and he's going out to be a deputy commanding general for support. That's a lot of jobs in a 6-year period, and they're all very, very different, very different. And I think that as we talk about the future of our Army, it's not just going to be the materiel we have. It's going to be the organizations we have and the leaders we have that are able to transform in contact with the enemy to maintain overmatch. And at the end of the day, our asymmetric advantage over the enemy are the leaders that we build. Because our adversaries don't have that type of leader development, and they don't have those types of leaders. Rory is a leader who builds expertise, individually and collectively. At every one of those jobs that I just laid out, he became the expert in the entire enterprise on what he was currently responsible for. And I see this, Phil and I were talking about this earlier, and I mentioned it at the award ceremony. You don't see this across the military. You definitely don't see it in the U.S. government with all the folks that we work with our interagency partners and things. But in just a matter of a few days or months or weeks, Rory builds expertise rapidly. And his tenure here at the cross-functional team has been no different. He's fostered a culture of innovation and experimentation within the cross-functional team, encouraging bold ideas and challenging conventional thinking. Rory delivers. Following the Army's pivot on extended-range cannon artillery, he spearheaded a characteristics and needs statement to guide our mobile tactical cannon requirements. He drove hard on precision strike missile, from seeker, test to expansion of partnerships and delivery. He also championed the autonomous multi-domain launcher, one of my favorite science projects, both inside and outside the Army. During Valiant SEAL 24, it conducted its first live fire in the Indo-Pacific, a testament to not only his belief in leveraging autonomy, but the relationships that he built across the Army to be able to deliver that kind of capability forward. And he pulled a STARTE, which is an airspace awareness and decision tool, across the Valley of Death, so that our capabilities go from aspirational to operational. Whether briefing a 4-star general or walking the floor at a team week workshop, he brought laser focus, sharp insight, a deep commitment to the mission, and humanity that drives the team toward results with clarity and purpose. He is the embodiment of excellence and expertise. And we know that excellence is exquisite. It charts a narrow path. Rory has led by example with excellence. On behalf of General Rainey and Command Sergeant Major Hester, we in Army Futures Command wish the Krooks family all the best as they move to Fort Bliss and 1st Armored Division. Forge the future, be all you can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Rory Crooks.
Thank you. Those words are very kind. Some of them deserved, maybe. I'm not sure, but genuinely, thank you for that, sir. Now, one of the things I mentioned as Mayor Booker presented me the award is how much this community means. I want to thank Mayor Booker for being out here, for the rest of the community members, that every time we come back here, back home to Fort Sill, it feels like we're being embraced again. And for my family, to all of you, thanks for being out here today again. I do want to extend my thanks to General Brooks. I know Lisa thanks Lori and Major General Brooks, but for your daily guidance and when I'm here, that is, and not TDY. I appreciate everything you've done for our family, for all the families here on Fort Sill, sir. Sir, I know you and I have worked together now 3 times, different capacities. I know that indirectly, certainly, you've been responsible for where I am today in a lot of ways. Just from your mentorship, from your frank, candid comments, and I know directly in some cases, based on decisions you made, that it's not an accident that I've been able to serve in some of the places I have. So I want to thank you for coming up here and delivering this award and just being here as part of the ceremony as Lisa and I move on to the next chapter. I did talk to General Rainey briefly on the phone today. I thanked him for giving me the latitude and helping me be the director for this great cross-functional team and do some really important things for the Army and for the artillery. So to General Rainey, I think Lisa mentioned it too, thanks for giving us another year here to stabilize Daniel, and it's been awesome. So, you know, when you look at the quad, and when you take a look around you, even when the smoke, the cordite is wafting over you, you can't help but just be overwhelmed by the history of this place. So the history of the Old Post Quadrangle is the history of the United States in a lot of ways. I will say, as I mentioned, this is a 5th time for me being here, 3rd time for our family being here. So there's some personal history associated with this place as well. What I want to convey is one, some thank yous and some put in perspective on how important that history is for me personally and to our family, but also to put in perspective some of the groups that are making Army history and continue to make Army history. So the first time I rolled into Fort Sill, and for those that roll into Fort Sill for the first time, if you haven't grown up in Oklahoma, I think your first response is, this isn't like where I grew up, right? In many ways. And so that was before the turn of the century. That just gives you how long an idea that was. So things were way different back then. The second time I came, career course, came through, and got out in the community a little bit more, but didn't engage so much. So it was still like, okay, I'm starting to see it, but this still isn't answering everything I need. By the 3rd time, when I met my wife, and we thought we might land here together, but the Army had different plans and sent us in 2 different directions, we could start to see what this place really meant. From the ancient history of the Wichita Mountains, the oldest mountain range in North America, I'm told, to everything that it's bringing for the artillery into the Army into the future. So at that point, Lisa and I knew there was something special about this place. The 4th time after battalion command, after 137, came back here, and this was it. This was where Ryan first remembered school in a way that when we had the opportunity the 5th time, we were excited to come back here. Even though it was Ryan's senior year, he still said, you know, after Fort Knox, let's go to Fort Sill, Dad. I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, it's not my choice, but I was like, yeah, you got Fort Sill. Congratulations, you thank me later. But between that and this being Dan's graduation here, this place is special, and we don't know if this is the last chapter for the Crooks family at Fort Sill, but we're so honored that we've had as many opportunities as we have, and that's a thank you to everybody here. There's a little bit of personal history. I mentioned first of the 37th Field Artillery. We have some alumni in here and some different generations of 137 Red Lions. I'm so thankful that you're able to come down here and spend this with us, this day with us, and watch us as we move on to another chapter in our family history. We got Wendy and Tom Reitmeyer. We got Matt and Jenny Dennis, as well as Maddie and Noah, their daughter and son-in-law, and their 2 grandchildren. Thanks for making the trip up from Texas, down from Kansas. I know it was a long trip, so thank you for spending this day with us. Other parts of my history, personal history, a guy that I used to work for, Tracy Bannister, out here from Florida, Chief of Staff. I think he set me straight in a few ways. There's a few Harvard Review articles I had to read about a monkey on a back or something like that. Thank you for making the trip out, Tracy. And also Heath Stam. I think Heath was in 1st Infantry Dubarty with me, important warrant officer, did some great work in Europe, and he's back out here. So thanks for sharing that personal history. So if I'm going to ask, from this point forward, I'm just going to ask some history questions. And it's not going to be a quiz, there's no lecture, but I will ask some things and put my thank yous in perspective of this. So I guess from the Army history, who was in the Army modernization lineup when AFC, Army Futures Command, was kind of born? I wanted to use the opportunity to answer that by thanking some of my fellow cross-functional team directors, whether it's Major General Ellis, Pat Ellis, Kane Baker, Mike Mauleone, Shane Upton, Jeff Norman, Kevin Bradley, Phil Kinnery, Jason West, or the JMC commander, Zach Miller. tremendous partners to work alongside. They genuinely care, easy to be able to interface with and get things moving forward when there's some lack of momentum. So I want to thank the CFT crowd. I intentionally did not talk about the air and missile defense CFT because these guys are my neighbors downstairs. You know, I have to go through their space every single day when I go up and down the stairs. But I've been tremendously blessed to have, I think we were called the Fires Dynamic Duo initially with Pat Costello. You may hear that name sometime in the future here, but Pat was outstanding. Me and Rachel to have as neighbors. And then I didn't think I could get lucky twice, but I did. I had Bill Parker and Kerry as my, I think we were nicknamed the Fire Twins after that. So whichever it is, it was clear that wherever we went together, and we were all about integrating fires every single day. So I want to thank and Nancy Sharpless. Nancy actually helped me pick a new deputy. I did that on purpose because I knew that was somebody she's going to have to work with later. So, but thank you for your team that you lead. The AMD CFT is special, and I think the way we work together between the LRPF CFT and the AMD is probably one of a kind, and I'm really thankful for that. I do have probably on the outstations some fellow Combat Capability Development Command partners out there. I do want to thank from the Armament Center, Chris Grisano, from the Aviation and Missile Center, Jim Kirsch, and from the Data Analysis Center, Larry Larimer. Great partners, still working with them. I think I even have a comeback even before I report in that they're helping me with. So great to have them as partners, and appreciate everything they did. On the other side, beyond AFC, for modernization history, what we do with our acquisition corps, I've been so fortunate to have not only good leaders of the program executive offices like Major General Glenn Dean or Major General Frank Lozano or Major General John Ryan, but their teams, everybody within that team is so user-friendly and is so willing to work with our CFT that it was just very helpful to bring things together, iterate quickly, and get some capabilities, so release requirements documents to get us in a position where we can get capabilities. So I want to thank them. I am going to talk about our ACMs along the way, but I got our next history question. And this is genuinely, I said it earlier, I don't think I was around enough in some ways. Sometimes 3 weeks out of a month, I'd be TDY. Most of that not by choice, but doing what I'm being told to do. But those team members on the cross-functional team, what you did, I was on the road to really champion the work that you were doing back here. And you, along with the rest of the FCO team, the fire seated, I just want to, this is an opportunity to thank you. I'm going to say it by name, but again, putting it in a historical question. So if the question ever comes up of who finally delivered cannons and drones that were able to range the depths that we need to on the battlefield, I will say that those unequivocally are the folks in our tactical fires line of effort, Fred Jano, Chris Ish, Drew Roberts, Doug Draney, and our partners in the Acom DeVarties. All the folks that is on Greg Tomlin's team right now, and some that happen to work by name at the cross-functional team. Those are the ones, as you see drones in the future, you know, they're instrumental in getting those where we need them as capabilities. All right, next question. Who delivered the precision strike munition, or precision strike missile, that is, that replaced our Army tactical missile system? And who delivered autonomous multi-domain launchers? The ones that were on the hook for that, absolutely, were our theater fires line of effort. That was Adam O'Donnell, Mark Brock, Brody Hall, Jay Patterson, and then the Army Capability Manager, FAB, Field Artillery Brigade and Long Range Fires Battalion, Kirk Juncker, and the rest of the FAB team, the fabulous ACM that we have. Just tremendous partners to work with. If the question is, who finally got the Army fires on data-centric architecture? You hear about Next Generation C2 all the time. There's a Fires C2 line of effort that we have in the CFT. Jesse Carr, Dan Elliott, Trey Meyer, Cynthia Holland, Sergeant First Class McKean, Kelly Wilson, LJ Johnson, and Damian Rivers. Big names when it comes to that capability. You mentioned Astarte Sur, that airspace innovation or optimization tool. They're all over that, along with the Army Capability Managers for fire cell targeting. Mike Inglis, Jimmy Harder, and the rest of the team, working together, absolutely making this happen. So, who were the engines of innovation that really actually delivered the results? And that was our mission support line of effort. Guys like Shane Mullins, Joe Sanders, Adam Eaton, Scott Ringwald, Rob Harper, Dennis Smith, Jamie Sutherland, Barbara Milam, Ricky Alexander, Master Sergeant Weaver, Master Sergeant Musquez, Stevie Bennett, Justin Sylvester, Ian Scrubble, Jed Crabb, Kim Bevins, Anthony McGuire, and Don Ross. Them working in conjunction with folks like Al Redford, Matt Merrick, the rest of that fire seated, and the concepts folks, the RDD folks, they're the ones that were the engines of innovation that really made it happen. And really, maybe more of a personal question is like, who kept Krooks focused and using the time wisely, and maybe giving good guidance to the CFT? Unequivocally, that was Kelly Joyce, Andy Hunt, Demaria Morton, Miguel Espinoza, and I didn't mention by name, but our highly qualified expert at the time, now acting Devarty, Jim Ackerman, and our deputies, Rob Picks. Thanks for being here, Rob. Chuck Rohde, who is actually doing my job right now, and he's in theater at Hawaii. It's not a terrible place, but he's actually doing work out in Hawaii. I just want to thank the deputy directors for covering down so often when I wasn't around. Our chiefs of staff, Cobb Lasley, Ben Looper, and Kirk Junker currently. I know this team is in good hands now, and the chiefs of staff have always been the ones to steady and provide good, consistent guidance within the CFTs, and you guys do that to the team. I know that we're in good hands between Chuck Rohde and Kirk Junker right now, when I can actually hear laughter down the hallway. Yeah, it's usually yours, but there's laughter, and I know that we're going through some turbulent times right now, a lot of things that are uncertain, and I'm thankful for your guys' leadership in getting us through that. Two last questions. Who got the other armies in on the U.S. Army artillery modernization? Two of them I can name, British officers, Lieutenant Colonel Tim Davis and Lieutenant Colonel Ben Watson, guys that have been resident in our footprint, in our building, helping us show what the UK is up to, and helping us connect with our other AUKUS partners to get things done. I appreciate their help as well. So finally, who's writing the next chapter of that modernization? That modernization starts today as I walk off the field, and that next chapter is being written. It's building toward a climax in the modernization story, and that's what I'm really excited about. And that's Rick Francis. I know Rick and Alicia are in very good hands with this team. They're joining a great team with the AFC team. There's no other place, actually nobody else I can think of right now better postured to slide into the director position and keep the momentum up and going where we need it. So once again, thanks for this history lesson with me, and thanks for all your support, genuinely. Fire strong, forge the future, and this will defend.
Commanders often use retreat ceremonies to honor exemplary individuals, thus publicly recognizing their exceptionally high standards and devotion to duty. Today's retreat ceremony is in honor of Brigadier General Krooks. The bugle call, retreat, was first used by the French Army to signal the rank and file to go to their quarters and for the sentries to begin challenging all visitors. The United States Army retained the bugle call retreat to signal the end of the duty day. The bugle call, to the color, is played shortly after retreat to alert all within hearing distance that the national colors are being retired for the day and to render the appropriate honors. When and where possible, a salute gun is fired immediately after retreat, alerting all to come to the position of attention and render the hand salute as the national colors are lowered. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for retreat.
Detachment! Attention! Sound! Retreat!
Please be seated.
Order! Arms!
At this time, First Lieutenant Connor Curran of the Salute Battery presenting Brigadier General Krooks with a token representing the retreat round fired in his honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing and singing of the Army song and remain standing for the retiring of the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this afternoon's retreat ceremony. Please come forward to bid farewell to Brigadier General Krooks